Hi, welcome to India's very first Indian classical dance podcast. I am Nadi Dongre, the creative director of Nrityangan Academy of Fine Arts. That's my mother, the founder and director of Nrityangan Academy of Fine Arts. So, having known you for my entire life, I just want to know something that is like a pressing question in my mind constantly is how did Bharatanatyam come into your life? How did you fall in love with it? And how did you dream of having something so beautiful, which is Nityangan Academy of Fine Arts?
Yes, so uh, going back to my past, I was never inclined towards dancing, as every child is not. I was forced into it as a kid. My mother wanted me to do some physical activity because of my weight, of course. So she dragged me into the nearest dance class. And I remember the doors opened, and the moment I was pushed, I was not even asked to go in, and my mother just physically pushed me in. Please go there. And the moment I saw so much of activity and so much of physical activity, Aramandi, Muramandi, people stretching, I turned back and I told mother, I can't do this. I had my teacher sitting there. I went to her rescue, as if like I've been thrown into a jungle. I went and I sat on her lap and I was only crying. She didn't know why I was crying. So she asked me, do you want to dance? And very
Sorry, one
strongly,
minute. How old were you that time?
I was 7. So I sat weeping in my teacher's lap, and she kept asking me, do you want to dance? See, everybody's dancing so beautifully. Will you dance? And I strongly nodded my head, saying that I will not dance. So she said, okay, sit on my lap. I don't know how many months passed. I was pushed into the room and I only sat on her lap. From her lap, I graduated to sitting on the floor. Slowly, I started crawling up to where children were dancing. And I used to just go and stand. She used to ask me, do you want to do something? And I was very strong because what was told to me, I wanted to see that I don't do that. So I stood there for a couple of months. Months went into 6 months, 8 months. And then eventually my teacher told me it's high time you start holding Kataka Mukha because you're just standing over there. Okay, yes, one thing I vividly remember is my mother used to bribe me with food because I was very fond of food. So my class used to accompany with a tiffin box. So class was just 1 hour, but I had about 2 3 varieties of food, and I had to eat food to for probably my brain to function. Yeah, that's how. And then slowly I started, and I had a wonderful teacher, very patient teacher. Slowly, as we graduated and we started learning more and more, I started developing a liking. I didn't love the dance form. I developed a liking. We also had this rule of you know to be in a particular shape when you're dancing, and I was not in shape at all, so I was made to stand right behind. So, and I always aimed that the girl who's standing in front of me, long hair and very pretty looking, very slim and trim. I want to reach that level. So I graduated every probably 18 months, 16 months coming forward. The day I reached the front line, I had almost finished learning about 7, 8 years, 9 years. That's when my teacher decided to migrate, and she left the country and she went. Yes, she did introduce me to other beautiful teachers. I went there, and eventually I did my Arangetram. And after my Arangetram is when I really felt the urge of having an academy of my own. That's the story behind NAFA and how NAFA was created.
Very innocent, very nice. Thank you. So, let's move on to the next question, which is about me. How was it teaching me as a student, as a child, to seeing me dancing with you now?
Oh yes, it is a very big transition. So teaching you was challenging,
We
but
need to be
challenging.
brutally honest, okay?
Yes, I'm being brutally honest. Every class of yours that I took, I thought that I've already crossed a year. So it went to 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. But I didn't give up. You
You
know,
still haven't.
the kind of mother I am.
She still doesn't give up.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
still don't give up, and I never give up. So that's how I pushed you. Yes, you were also. I cannot say you were forced into dance. Used to see students dancing, but both my daughters, fortunately, unfortunately, till nobody was there in the house, till there was no class, they were all to themselves. The moment the bell rang and students came, all the toys were on the floor. So, like, nobody should dance. My mama is only ours. So, anyway, that was a passing phase. We had a lot of scolding and shouting and screaming, and yeah, eventually, but teaching Nidhi was never a challenge in the sense like I didn't have to force her into dance. Probably she followed the footsteps, and there's always rhythm in the house. Shouting was also in rhythm. Nidhi, by the time you were, I think, in your eighth grade, that's when we decided to do your Arangetram. And you know the story of
I don't want to
Arangetram.
know. I don't.
I hope you remember the day when we said you will do your Arangetram, and couple of months she threw a tantrum and said, I will not dance. And my heart sank. I said, I have invested so much, so many years, and everything is booked, musicians, everything is booked, and how can you say this? And she slammed the door and say, I will not do it. Then she will take over now. She will tell you what were her feelings.
I think it really came from a sense of resistance. The resistance in the form of discipline that was constantly enforced upon me. And I feel like dancing came naturally to me, yes, for sure. And I wasn't ever interested in dancing. That's a different thing. But I think I had like such wonderful school teachers also and dance teachers that really saw the potential in me. So I think my school teachers and my mom obviously saw the potential in me before I could see the potential in me. Yeah, that was the phase where I think I rebelled the most, was because there was a sense of transition. I was becoming a teenager, and my friends were doing a lot more fun stuff than what I was doing. I was listening to Carnatic vocals, man. Like, what I was like, what is this? How does this even
Probably
make sense?
they were dancing at 1, 2, 3, 4, and she was dancing at Takka Dilli.
And yeah, and that was like
probably.
5, 6, 7, 8. I never had 1, 2, 3, 4 in my life. I always had 5, 6, 7, 8.
So I have also, I would also like to say something that Nidhi, to whichever of my teachers, my guru, she has gone. We are absolutely different. Like if I am like extremely disciplined, I'm not saying she's indisciplined, but she would like to get her way.
Indiscipline.
No, I'm not saying indisciplined, but you would like to mend your ways and get to it. I would always follow my guru says this, it is this. So Nidhi would
Yeah,
always
like
like to
Aishwarya
question.
and mom, I'll have malicious obedience, and I will be like, but why am I doing this? Like, there's always a sense of questioning.
So I'm sure Nidhi will tell you about the strict routine she had to follow during Arangetram, and I think this is what every student needs to know. It's not only for Arangetram; it just teaches you a kind of discipline and responsibility for whatever you take up. Arangetram could just be like an example, but anything that you're committed to, it could be probably a performance, it could be just going to the bazaar and buying vegetables. But if you're not committed to go there, anything that comes your way, suppose a rickshaw comes and some friends say, Chalo, let's go. You sit in the rickshaw and go, where is the commitment of getting vegetables? So I think Nidhi will throw more light on that.
Yeah, I was given this really bad, what, curry patta laddu? What was it?
Not curry patta, dry fruit laddu.
Not even dry. It wasn't even a dry fruit
Methi,
laddu.
methi, fenugreek.
Methi laddu. It was absolutely disgusting. I don't say that about food in general, and I'm not a foodie, but that little laddu was the nightmare. Like, she used to come and pop it into my mouth before every rehearsal and after every rehearsal. It was, and Aishwarya being Aishwarya, she would just be like, okay, yeah, lovely, mama, it's very nice. And I would throw a fit, obviously. But the experience in Arangetram was disastrous. Honestly, very strong a word, but I genuinely disliked that process. Like we used to start our day at 5 a.m. and 6:30, 6 o'clock, 6:05 we used to reach Pali Hill. In the transit also we were practicing. Then going there to our house, like our dance teacher's house in Pali Hill, dancing there till like 7:30 because 8:15 school started. So then we had to be in school by say 8:10. We used to finish that, be in school, and my teachers were told that she's doing her Arangetram, so she might get tired, she might not be able to focus on her academics completely. They were like, "Oh, sure, we will definitely support her." I was like,
And they
"What kind
really
of?"
did.
And like, I'm like,
They
"What
really
kind of
did.
teachers would do that?" But I'm very grateful that they did. So that happened. 3 o'clock we used to finish school. 3:30 I used to be in another tuition, and from there I used to go to Andheri for class. And that also not by rickshaw or having a driver at disposal, but BST bus. Okay, so I guess that journey was itself like, why am I doing this? Like my friends are going in cars and their parents are picking them in cars and never showing them this side of life. And my father was like, "Oh, we let the girls go by car, we'll arrange a driver." My mom was like, "No, let them learn the hardships of life." I was traveling in BST bus at like 13, 14 and sleeping on some random man's shoulder because I was so tired. Yeah, and then I think I reached my dipping point towards the last 2 months of the process. I was doing Varnam again. I did not know what separation felt. I didn't know what was that? What talam to do, what jati to do. It was just not making sense in my head, and it was really difficult for a 13 year to understand separation, love, whatever emotion at that time. And I came back home. I knew that I'm going to have an outburst in the house. And that day my mom just topped it up by saying something on the dinner table. And I was like, you know what? I've reached my peak. I do not want to do my Arangetram. And my father was like, "What is this? This is not happening. It's just 2 months away. We booked this." I'm like, "I'm not doing it." Aishwarya was like, "I want to slap this girl." Aishwarya was always like, "I will slap this girl and get her back on track." So I think I had that kind of parenting also. My parents were very understanding, and Aishwarya was like, to the point, if you understand, you understand. If you don't, just get out of it. So I think both of them shaped me accordingly. But and it happened. My Arangetram happened on 17th November. It happened, and something changed in me after that. Anyway, that's besides the point. But yeah, that's how it all started. Arangetram led to something shifting in me, and then me becoming a full-time artist, dancer, whatever you want to call it.